You for those tuning in to watch my Luke Shepard video featuring Stephen Crane's The Red Badge of Courage. Before I get started about my summary, I wanted to talk about the time period this book takes place in. The Red Badge of Courage takes place during the Civil War, so from 1861 to 1865. Most of the fighting takes place in the states of Virginia and Tennessee. The war was between the Union and Confederacy. The Union had 2,128,948 soldiers, while the Confederacy only had 1,082,119 soldiers. The main character in this book is named Henry Fleming, who is a Union soldier fighting with the 304th Regiment. The book shows you the life of Henry for 2 days, while he is at battle and the choices he makes. Henry, worried about running away in battle, fears he will make a coward of himself. The first engagement with the 304th Regiment, Henry is boxed in by his fellow soldiers, so he couldn't run even if he wanted to. After a short while, the Union won the battle, and they all rest a bit, and Henry dozes off. Suddenly, he awakes to the sound of an enemy regiment charging his unit's position. Panicking, terror overtaking him, he flees the battlefield, leaving his regiment in the dust. Henry, attempting to convince himself that what he did was right for the preservation of his own life, is still ashamed of his cowardice. After some time, wandering nonchalantly through the forest, he finds himself joining up with a column of wounded soldiers. Henry, deeply envious of the wounded, wishes he too was wounded, having a red badge of courage, visible proof of valorous behavior, which is why Henry joined the military. While he is at the camp, Henry becomes friends with a tattered soldier who wanders through the forest with him. The soldier, who has been shot twice and boasts that he did not flee when his regiment was being attacked by the charging enemy, keeps asking Henry where his wound is. Henry never gives a response to the question, and annoyed by the soldier, ashamed that he doesn't have a red badge of courage, and that the wounded soldier didn't flee and stay to fight with his regiment, Henry runs off in the dark of night, abandoning the wounded soldier to die in the middle of the woods. He continues wandering without knowing where he heads, and comes across some fleeing Union soldiers. As he tries to stop one of them, a soldier accidentally hits Henry in the head with his gun, opening a large bloody gash on his forehead. Eventually, a soldier leads him back to his regiment's camp. One of Henry's old friends, thinking that Henry was shot, carefully tends to him. The next day, Henry, venting all of his shame and anger over the things he did the day before, fights like an animal. He encourages his men, raising the morale, and whenever the regiment's flag bearer dies, Henry, sprinting and leaping over any obstacles in his way, picks up the flag and charges on with his regiment at his side, eventually leading the Union to a victory. As the army marches back to camp, Henry reflects back on the last 2 days and the way he changed through his experience of war. Though he was a coward yesterday, today he is a new man. Instead of running from his fears, he attacks it, and even though he still has guilt about leaving the wounded soldier to die in the forest, he shoves it behind him. He is a man, now at peace, reborn from war.